That's right, Zach's back with another Traits and Trials update. This time we're going deeper into the exploration aspect of the game, discussing the different things you can encounter in more detail. This is our last episode until the combat breakdown, then we'll hopefully be posting the most important episode, so look forward to that and remember to show the channel some support by sharing these videos where you can. I'll admit that our views have reduced somewhat since we began, but Dennis and I are nothing if not stubborn, and Nando's just happy to be here, so we push on and hope for improvements as we continue. As a refresher, the exploration is a blend of Slay the Spire and Darkest Dungeon, with your character choosing paths to take, with different encounters on each path, all leading to the boss at the end of the area. I briefly mentioned each of the encounters on the paths in the main exploration episode, but let's discuss them in more detail this time, starting with events. Events are random encounters that are sprung on you during your character's walk. They give a bit of narrative as to what your adventurer is doing as they walk, putting them into a situation where you choose what to do. Here's the first example we made for the Fungal Jungle. This one's called Mealtime Mush. While stumbling through this strange mushroom forest, you find a clear spot to stop and have a break. As you check your adventurer's pack, you find that your ration for today appears to be missing. With your belly rumbling, you look around, finding 2 mushrooms that look at least somewhat edible. They can't be too unhealthy, right? Now, you can choose between eating the fat mushroom or the thin mushroom, or just going hungry. Let's assume that you're smart and you say, I'm not eating anything in this place, so you decide to go hungry. In this event, your character tries to ignore their stomach growls, taking 5 damage. Let's rewind this time. You have low HP and can't take the damage. Besides, you're really hungry. So you decide to go with the fat mushroom. It's big, so it'll definitely be enough to fill you up. So you take a bite and it tastes good. You eat all of it and definitely feel full. Perhaps a bit too full. You begin to bloat a bit and the mushroom takes effect on your body. Your character is now fat, giving them -1 to their dex, but at least you don't starve. What about if you opted for the thin mushroom? Biting into the top, it's a bit like jerky, dry and somewhat stretchy. You eat it and feel alright, for a bit. Then things feel weird. You feel a bit woozy and your character goes wobbly. Eventually this subsides, but you don't feel the same anymore. You've become flimsy. Your adventurer's defense has dropped, but again you're no longer hungry at least. This is just one example of an event you can run into on the walks. We plan to have lots of them on each floor. Not always bad, of course. Sometimes you'll find a very convenient convenience store. Others, you'll sign a contract to become strong without reading the fine print. We thought since eventually people will learn what happens in every event, having one clearly correct answer for each event would be boring. So some events are good, but you have to choose the benefit, and some events are bad. But you can choose what kind of bad is least bad for the run you're doing. The events that do have good and bad answers will probably be randomized somewhat, so you can't always know the correct one. Going back to the convenience stores, let's look at the shop more. Oh, it appears the shopkeeper is out for the moment. Ah well. The Gob Shop is a moving store on wheels that's run by the Gobkeeper. It's also literally run by a lizardling that the Gobkeeper has on a leash as his business partner. This entrepreneurial duo are probably the only friendly types of their kind you'll encounter, and even then, it's more so out of convenience. Currently, the shop has a few things set out. Here's what's up for purchase. On the side here you'll find scrolls. These are instructions to accomplish different techniques, with coloured strings defining the type of technique. What are techniques? You'll find out next episode. These items will be fairly expensive and will change each time you encounter the shop, being the only consistent way to change the techniques you can use after you start a run. Other general things you can buy from the shop are as follows. Small potions that replenish stamina, mana or health, with health of course being the most expensive. There's also going to be a map which tells you where all the enemies and events will be, so you can better choose the optimal path. We're also considering adding a secret path onto the floor that can only be encountered if you've bought the map. But of course, let's not creep up the amount of gameplay features before the alpha is even ready. The last thing you can purchase at the moment is consumables, meals or potions that you can take with you and use in combat or during exploration in order to keep your character alive and maybe apply temporary buffs. We're still considering this though, so it may be subject to change. So, you're shopping at this fine establishment when, oh shoot, you haven't got enough to buy that item you want. But how can you raise your money? Wait, what's this? A wanted poster for some sort of scoundrel. Well, if you need a quick stack of cash, the Gob Shop pays a premium for specific tough enemies. Selecting the wanted poster will put you in a fight with that enemy. If you're successful, you'll return to the shop with more riches to spend. So, that's the shop, but now you need to relax. All this stress from combat and financial trouble makes you just want to spend a little bit of time thinking, what's this? Some sort of stone igloo? It has warm mist flowing out from the entrance and onto the mossy bed below your feet. Stepping into the stone igloo, it leads lower and lower into the ground, and to a wonderful little bathhouse. This is the Oasis, one of the few in the oubliette. Nobody knows what they're for or why they exist, but the water seems to have special properties, restoring vitality and healing physical and spiritual maladies. There are a myriad of things you can do, but only a certain amount of time to do it, known as respite. It costs different amounts of respite for different things. For 1 point, you can just relax, gaining a bit of mana, stamina, and health. For 2 respite, you can buff your stats, training your body or mind. 3 respite will let you study, allowing you to learn a random technique. And for 4 respite, you can train, upgrading one of your techniques that you currently have. Lastly, for a whopping 6 respite, you can focus on bettering yourself, selecting a negative trait that you have and overcoming it, removing it from your character. Choose wisely though, you only have 8 points of respite to use per trip to the Oasis. Eventually, you've used up all your points. The water stops, the steam clears, and the pool grows cold. Time to step back outside and continue your journey. You stroll for a while and see something blocking your path. Feeling eyes watching all around you, you can feel that they aren't friendly, and you prepare for battle. And scene. That's today's subject more or less covered. If you want to learn about combat, join us for our next episode. We've been preparing for it for a while. Maybe give this video a like, comment, or subscribe. Or how about you hit that bell just because? Heck, maybe you even want to share. That way we can maybe survive long enough to finish this game. We also have a Patreon. Just saying. Just leaving it out there. Oh look, here come our patrons. They look like they're having fun, right? Thanks to Corval and my mum. Thanks, Mum. Catch you all later.